Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome back to our hadith class. We are doing the kitab known as Riyaadhus Saaliheen of Imam al-Nawawi rahimahullah, and tonight inshallah ta'ala we are doing hadith number 190. So without any delay, let's begin. Bismillah walhamdulillah wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillahi wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man wala. So the sixth hadith of this chapter is an 190th hadith of the kitab. السادس عن أم المؤمنين أم الحكم زينب بنت جحش رضي الله عنها. Okay, so the sixth hadith is reported by al-Mu'mineen, Hazrat Zainab binti Jahsh radiyallahu anha. Her kunya was al-Hakam. Now, obviously, there was no child by this name. The wives of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they did not have children from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Some had children, like Hazrat Salama radiyallahu anha from her previous husband, but others had no children. Hazrat Zainab binti Jahsh radiyallahu anha used to be married to Hazrat Zayd ibn Haritha radiyallahu anhu. The only Sahabi to be mentioned by name in the Quran. And after the divorce and the iddah, Allah had married Hazrat Zainab radiyallahu anha to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. And Hazrat Zainab radiyallahu anha had no children, not from Hazrat Zayd, and she never had of her own. So Hakam is a kunya that was given to her. Likewise, Hazrat Zainab radiyallahu anha was also known as Masakin. The same title of Masakin was also a title for the other Mu'mineen, Hazrat Zainab binti Khuzayma radiyallahu anha. And there is in fact a third wife of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam who also was known as Masakin. Nonetheless, so here Imam an-Nawawi rahimahullah, he gives the title of Hakam for Hazrat Zainab binti Jahsh radiyallahu anha. She who said that أن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم دخل عليها فزعا. Now Hazrat Zainab radiyallahu anha, she narrates, she said that one day Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam entered upon her fazi'an. Fazi'a means like a person is in a state of anxiety. It's like when you got a shock, a fright, that kind. So in Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam came to her in a state saying يقول لا إله إلا الله ويل للعرب من شر قد اقترب فتح اليوم من ردم يأجوج ومأجوج مثل هذه وحلق بإصبعيه الإبهام والتي تليها. So Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam entered and he made this, and Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam said La ilaha illallah. As you know, the La ilaha, it was a serious thing which had happened, and Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam resort to making the dhikr of Allah. Some people, you get upset, you swear, whatever. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam takes the name of Allah. Then Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam makes a statement, وَيْلٌ لِلْعَرَبِ مِنْ شَرٍ قَدْ اقْتَرَبَ. It's a statement Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam made on occasion, not only just once, but on occasion when something would happen. It means, woe to the Arabs from an evil that is close to happen. In other words, let's put it this way, it's a prophecy. When Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam makes the statement, it's like it's a prophecy, or it's some evil which is just around the corner. But in any case, Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, "Futih al-yawm, today, futih al-yawma min radmi ya'juj wa ma'juj mithlu hadhihi." That a hole has opened in the wall. The radm here refers to the wall, the barrier wall of that Ya'juj and Ma'juj is Gog and Magog, as they are known in English. What the wall that is holding them back, a hole this size has opened in it. وَحَلَّقَ بِأُصْبُعَيْهِ الْإِبْهَامِ وَالَّتِي تَلِيهَا. And Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam made a ring with his two fingers, his thumb and the finger next to it. To use the literal words of the hadith. In other words, Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam used the thumb and the index finger of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam to make a circle with it, and said that a hole this size has opened up in that wall. In other words, to get into the background, when Dhul Qarnayn had built the wall to hold Ya'juj and Ma'juj back, it is said that Ya'juj and Ma'juj, every single day they try to get out of this, so they try and break the wall, and then it's like they come and they like okay, we're done for today. We'll come and carry on tomorrow. They come tomorrow and the wall has solidified itself and all the work of the day before has been lost. And so it goes on. And until the day when they say, tomorrow, inshallah, we'll be out. And that will be the day when they actually break through and spread out upon the earth. But in any case, what Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam told us here is that a hole this size has appeared in the wall. In other words, they are busy breaking through. And they've broken to the point where you can basically see the light on the other side, so to speak. So, فقلت يا رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم أنهلك وفينا الصالحون. So Hadrat Zainab رضي الله عنها, she said that, يا رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم, will we be destroyed and there are pious people amongst us? قال نعم إذا كثر الخبث. متفق عليه. Will we be destroyed when if there are still pious people amongst us? So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, yes, إذا كثر الخبث, when evil, when khabath من الخبث والخبائث, you know the dua when you are going into the toilet. So khabath means evil. When evil runs rampant and it is not checked, then even when there are pious people amongst you, destruction will encompass everybody. So obviously, Ya'juj and Ma'juj will not come before their time. They will not come before Dajjal. There is a series to things. And the first one to come is the Mahdi. Right upon, following up upon him comes Dajjal. In Dajjal's time comes Isa alayhi salam. Isa alayhi salam, in his time comes Ya'juj and Ma'juj. Like that, one follow after the next one. So there's a series to it, and none can come before their time. So you won't have Dajjal turning up if the Mahdi has not come. You will not find that Isa alayhi salam turning up if Dajjal has not come, and so on and so forth. So what Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam here says is that when evil becomes, when it becomes rampant, then even when there are pious people amongst you, destruction will cover everybody and everyone will be destroyed. Now, obviously, what the person understands from this is that when you are doing Nahi Anil Munkar and you do your Nahi Anil Munkar, then whether people listen to you or not, it's neither here nor there. But you will be safe. Even in the case where if Allah destroys everyone, then Allah will raise everybody on their actions and their intentions. And in your case, you had been doing Nahi Anil Munkar. You will go to Jannah. And those who were destroyed because of punishment, they will go to Jahannam. But in any case, so إِذَا كَثُرَ الْخَبَث, what allows evil to spread? Yeah, I mentioned this, I think it was in the last time's class, or the class before that at least, I should say, a statement by a kafir, but he said that it is enough for evil to spread that good men do nothing. So if you sit back and you don't do Nahi Anil Munkar, then you are part and parcel of the problem and you allow evil to spread by your negligence in putting a stop to it. And whenever you sit back and the next person sits back and the other one sits back and everybody sits back, then evil goes unchecked. And that's what allows it to spread. But if you have, think about it in this way. In the days of old, you had people who were gay. And gayness was considered to be a mental illness. You can still go and look this in the old medical journals. You will find it over there mentioned that homosexuality was deemed to be a mental illness, to the extent that in Christian circles, if you were gay and they were Christian, they would have taken you to the Pope, not the Pope, but the priest over there. They'll try and exorcise the demon out of you in some of them, because they felt that there's something wrong with you. There must be a demon in you that you are gay. Others would be like in those they'll tie you up in the basement over there and they'll whip you and to try and get the gayness out of you. Others would put them in mental institutions because it's what, like I say, officially declared a mental illness. And they would now dope you with those heavy drugs. And when that did not work, then they resorted to a thing that became quite fun amongst them, let's put it this way. A frontal lobotomy. they like doing frontal lobotomies over there in all the mental institutes. They would take them and basically, if you want to know what a frontal lobotomy is, they basically put a pipe right up through your nose into your brain, and they break your frontal lobe. In other words, think of it as putting a spoon up your nose and scooping out a piece of your brain, to put it bluntly. So that was a frontal lobotomy. And when that was done, you were basically a vegetable. So that's how. But the point why I'm mentioning all of this is that even though this was kafir society, but it was an evil and they considered it an abomination. So they nobody was okay with it. It's like if you were gay, it's like you were diseased, you were a freak. What's wrong with you? But then it was like, love and let love. The way you are finding today in the world. Muslims, I've been like, love and let love. Don't worry about yourself. Don't worry about other people. And so it goes on. And when this happened, you had those who were still hardliners, and they would be like, we want nothing to do with you, you dirty gay. And others started coming, you can't call him like that. They are all humans. And so it went on and went on. And today we see the results of the khabath that has happened as a result of it, because people sat back and the disease, the rot set in and became worse and worse. And to the point that now, if you speak out against it, you are homophobic. They can arrest you, put you in jail, because you have no right to discriminate against people and everything of the sort, even though he's a 6.8 120 kg weighing creature, and then he say he's a 13-year-old girl who does ballet, and you must just say, oh, okay, well, sure, you're a 13-year-old girl doing ballet over there. But in any case, long story short, when you don't stop the evil, that is when evil becomes rampant. So that's why Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, when evil becomes rampant, then even if there are pious people amongst you, Allah will destroy the people. You will all be destroyed. Yes, the pious ones, they'll be in a better position. But when you don't step out to stop it, then you invite the punishment of Allah on account of your sitting back, in other words. متفق عليه, hadith is agreed upon by both Imam Bukhari and Imam Muslim rahimahumullah. But let's move on because it's our first hadith of the night. I don't want the whole night to pass by, and we've only just done one hadith. So let's move on to the next one. السابع, hadith number 191, the seventh hadith of the chapter. عن أبي سعيد الخدري رضي الله عنه عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال إياكم الجلوس في الطرقات. In this hadith, Hazrat Abu Sa'id al-Khudri radiyallahu anhu, he said that Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, إياكم الجلوس في الطرقات. Turuqat is plural of the word, like tariq. Beware of sitting in the roads. فقالوا يا رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم ما لنا من مجالسنا بد نتحدث فيها. Then the Sahaba radiallahu anhu, they said, Ya Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, we don't have another place to be able to sit besides, depending on where you live in the world, you'll find some people and they're out in their gowns, going out to the shop, and you'll find others standing outside in their gowns, drinking a mug of coffee, watching the world go by, and things like that. But this wasn't the case like this. There wasn't community centers and meeting halls and stuff like this. But yet there was a need for people to meet, to discuss, to speak, to do business, etc., etc. So the Sahaba radiallahu anhum, they said, Ya Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, we don't have any other place besides this. So then Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, فقال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم فإذا أبيتم إلا المجلس فأعطوا الطريق حقه. قالوا وما. Okay. Then Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, if that is the case, if you have no other place besides the road, then give the road its right. Fulfill the right of the road. Yeah, don't get the wrong idea. The rights of the road is not a mirror, blind spot, indicate. That's not the rights of the road. That may be the K53 rules and rights of the road. But from a Shari'i perspective, what are the rights of the road? So the Sahaba radiallahu anhum, they asked this question. قالوا وما حق الطريق يا رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. So the Sahaba radiallahu anhu, they said, they asked at least, that what are the rights of the road of Rasulullah صلى الله عليه وسلم? قال غض البصر وكف الأذى ورد السلام والأمر بالمعروف والنهي عن المنكر متفق عليه. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, these are the rights of the road. Number one, غض البصر, lowering the gaze. وكف الأذى, and not being a hindrance or a harm or a pest to people. ورد السلام, and replying to salam. والأمر بالمعروف, and commanding the goodness. والنهي عن المنكر, and prohibiting the evil. So these 5 things are the rules of the road, so to speak. So now let's look at these things quickly before we move on to the next hadith. So the first one is غض البصر. Now this is not restricted to sitting in the road. This applies whether you are sitting or whether you are walking or whether you whatever. These rights of the road apply in all cases. So the first one is غض البصر. Regardless of what gender you are, غض البصر still keeps its place. But you understand it more in the context. Here you are sitting on the sidewalk, for example, lounging under a tree, for example, whatever the case may be, and now you're all sitting around there. First thing, غض البصر. Because what is غض البصر? It is lowering the gaze. Now you find a woman walking past and there, someone's catcalling, whistling at her, that's number one. Then kaful adha. When you have the next stage of these type of people is the one will whistle, catcall, pass a comment. The next one will get up actually to try and harass. Hey, give me your phone number, things of the sort. But it's not limited and restricted to this. Kaful adha also refers to, in practical terminology, now you are having a, let's put it this way, a meeting place under the tree. But now here you come in, hey, you got diarrhea and you're not going to make it home. So you turn the tree into your own personal outdoor toilet and you just let her up and you mess all over the place there. Now the people come and it's like they can't sit down because it's like this was the normal meeting spot here, but you turned it into a public toilet which 20 meters away and people can't come near. The birds are falling dead out of the sky because of the dirt that you've left behind like this. And things, this is other. You're not allowed to do this. It's not permissible. Or, you drinking, for example, so you went there to the shop, you bought yourself a can of cool drink and maybe a burger. So you got your polystyrene box over there because you're done and you've drank your can, you've crushed it up also. Now you throw the can and the polystyrene there on the floor. Or you ate the sweet and you threw the paper on the floor. This is other. You may be thinking, hey, who's being hurt by that little paper that I threw here? But this is other, because now you throw the paper, the next person throw the paper. Tomorrow, it looks like the South African national flower. And no, I don't mean the protea. I mean the plastic packets which are stuck all over the place, because you do it, the next person do it, and a mountain is made out of grains of sand. So everybody's little bit of dirt that you throw ends up becoming a mountain at the end of the day. So you don't cause any harm. And obviously, kaful adha, as the words of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is unrestricted, so it applies to all forms of harm. Now you are sitting in the road and you blocking the road. This sitting in the road is not referring to blocking the road. It is not permissible whatsoever to sit and block the road. It's not allowed. This is not what is in question over here. This is when you are sitting in a public place. So there's place for people to walk through and everything like this here. So you're not blocking anything. You just don't have another place to go and sit and congregate. But it's not referring to blocking off the road. If you block the road, it's not allowed. Go home then, sit in your beds, and things of that sort. But in any case, so that's that one. And waraddu salam, and replying to the salam. Now, what is raddu salam? The words here indicate something to you. It indicates that the people are, you as the person, you are sitting and others are walking past you. Now the mashi gives salam to the qa'id. The one who walks gives salam to the one who sits. So you are sitting and hence you reply to the salam. So you understand it from the words of the hadith, reply to the salam, which shows the etiquette. He will greet, you will reply. You can greet and he can reply, sure, too. Sure, not a problem. But the command is that the one who walks greets the one who sits. So you are sitting, hence why you return the salam. So therefore also you understand it is a right of a Muslim. If he's greeted you, you return his salam. So you're not, hey, who are you? Why are you coming to come greet me? You don't do such things. And then the last two, Amr bil Ma'ruf, Nahi anil Munkar. This never goes away. So if you are sitting on the sidewalk over there, having your meeting and things, and there you see someone coming along looking like a shifty character, and he's going around by the children, and he's handing out his own personalized ecstasy and drugs of this mandrakes and things of the sort, then Amr bil Ma'ruf comes in. You can't sit back and be like, I can't be certain what exactly he's doing. We all know what exactly it is that he's doing, but now you're like, what's the big deal? You, as big there, it is your duty to step up and put a stop to it. And if these people who are all sitting there stepped up, that good for nothing drug dealer would quickly, put his tail between his legs and run away. But if you're going to sit back and do nothing about it, tomorrow he'll be back with a bigger stash, and there will be more children who will be addicted to drugs, and so on and so forth it goes. So if you are there in the street, you have to do that right of Amr bil Ma'ruf and Nahi anil Munkar. So when you're seeing this evil taking place, you need to put a stop to it. So anyway, we've spent quite some time on this hadith, but the words are general. It is unrestricted. So you will apply it across the board wherever it's possible to apply. You will lower your gaze. If you are a woman, you can't be sitting there and saying, hey, look at this eye candy coming on here. It's not allowed for you. It's not only about men catcalling women. It's also about the women who are sitting there and they catcalling men. Yeah, it actually happens. But anyhow, so it applies to both genders. So lowering the gaze, not being a means of harm. You return the salam of people, and you do command the good and you prohibit the evil. These are the rights of the road that every Muslim is required to adhere to. Muttafaqun alayhi, Imam Bukhari and Imam Muslim rahimahumullah, both of them report this hadith and agree upon its authenticity. One more hadith for the night, hadith number 192, الثامن عن ابن عباس رضي الله عنهما أن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم رأى خاتم من ذهب في يد رجل فنزعه فطرحه وقال يعمد أحدكم إلى جمرة من نار فيجعلها في يده فقيل للرجل بعدما ذهب رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم خذ خاتمك انتفع به قال لا والله لا آخذه أبدا وقد طرحه رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم رواه مسلم. Hazrat Abdullah ibn Abbas radiyallahu anhu, he said that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam saw a man, saw a ring made out of gold on the hand of a man, meaning one of the Sahaba radiyallahu anhum, he was standing there and he had a golden ring he was wearing. So فَنَزَعَهُ, Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam went over there, took the ring off his finger and threw it away. And then Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam made this comment saying that one of you takes a coal from Jahannam and he puts it on his hand. Like you are taking a coal of Jahannam and putting it on your hand. It's not permissible for a man to wear anything, there's no such thing as jewelry for a man. Unfortunately, in today's world, every second man wants to be wearing a chain around his neck, call it by whatever name he wants to, but call it bling, call it whatever, it's haram. Regardless of who you are and what you feel, it is haram. So whether it's silver or anything, a chain is out. But now it is the only piece of jewelry, so to speak, that the man is permitted to wear is one silver ring. But now it's like, now you're wearing a ring on every finger. Next thing you know, you've got tongue rings, and you're supposed to be a man also on top of it, and all sort of psycho freakness of the sort. But any case, so now you're wearing a gold ring. Now this Sahabi was not aware of the prohibition, so he was wearing a ring made out of gold. And Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam, seeing a munkar, immediately Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam stops it physically, goes there, takes the ring off his finger and throws it away. Now I will make a statement over here just to say, don't try the, you have those things, don't try this at home. You're going to come there to somebody and grab the ring on his finger. If he don't smack you, he may pull out his gun and shoot you because he thinks you're coming to rob him. So do keep that in mind before you go try doing anything. As a person in the case here, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam could do it, and the Sahaba radiallahu anhum listen. They, we obey straight away. But in the case of, you know, if you are, let's say you are a teacher, an alim, and one of your students are there, you can go up to him and do such a thing, and he will know who you are, and you're trying to correct him and stuff like this here. But you don't try to the random man in the street. It's like he pulls his gun out, he shoots you dead. Police come and ask what's going on. He say, he was trying to rob me. They look at the CCTV camera footage, and there you are grabbing his ring. And people say, yeah, I never thought he was that type of a person. He try and rob somebody in broad daylight. So do also apply your mind and keep in mind the principles of Nahi Anil Munkar that we had done previously. So anyway, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam threw this ring away and made the statement that, you take a coal from Jahannam and you put it on your hand. So after Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam now went by, moved on, this Sahabi was still standing there, and there were some other Sahaba as well. So, someone told him that, take your ring and make use of it. In other words, you can't wear it, but you can sell it, you can melt it down, you can give it to your wife. You got many things you can do with it. So go and take some benefit out of it. It doesn't mean that now you can't use it at all. But the Sahabi, he said, no, Wallahi, by Allah, I will never take it in my life after the fact that Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam had thrown it away. So I hear and obey what Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said. Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam took it off my hand and threw it away, so I will never touch it again in my life. I'm not going to come and look for the easy way out and say, hey, well, and yet it is the reality. He literally could have taken the ring and sold it, melt it down, give it to his wife or to his mother or his daughter, whatever like this here. It's perfectly permissible. There's no question about it. But here it was the absolute adherence to the words or the actions of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So because Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam had taken it off his hand and thrown it away, so therefore the Sahabi was like, no. If I were to go and pick it up, it would be almost as if I am undermining the action of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So I will never touch this ring. Maybe somebody else can go and take it and do whatever you want with it. But me, I will never touch it because Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam had thrown it away. Imam Muslim rahimahullah is the narrator of this hadith. But in any case, you see how, like I said, how this hadith relates to the chapter is the point of physically doing nahi anil munkar within your capability. So a woman is not going to come now to a man and some strange man in the street and she want to pull his bling off his neck. You don't do such things. So there are rules and regulations and a way of doing things. And if you are not in that position, then like I say, and you're not in a position to physically stop it, to verbally stop it, then the very least you hate the sin in your heart. But in any case, that hadith is reported by Imam Muslim rahimahullah, and it's the end of the hadith for tonight. We'll stop on this point here, and next week inshallah ta'ala we'll continue on from the 9th hadith. But that being said, we end for tonight. Until next time, we end and we say, wa sallallahu wa sallam wa baraka ala nabiyyina Muhammad, subhanallahi wa bihamdihi, subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdik, nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.